So I have a confession to make. Let's get in here real close. I like John Mayer. I really started getting into it when Where the Light Is came out, and we were treated to displays of talent like this.
When sky blue gets dark in there.
I remember texting this to all my hipster friends, like, come on, you have to respect this. In 2023, I think Live at the Nokia has aged very well. I mean, listen to this. Steve Jordan, Pino Palladino. Listen to this guitar solo on Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. I get it. John gets a bad rap for some of his pop stuff.
Still had it up my sleeve.
And maybe some of his shenanigans. Which we're not here to talk about, because this is a Can You Do the Gig? Quick setup. You watch your favorite musicians and you think, what if that could be me? I would kill to play with them. Maybe if I practice and play my cards right. But what if you actually got the call? What if Steve Jordan and J.J. Johnson became co-founders of a drum-themed chain of artisanal ramen restaurants, and both canceled 3 days before John was scheduled to play 3 songs on SNL because of their restaurant grand opening? This is contrived, I realize. In the long list of other people who could fill in, including Keith Carlock, Matt Chamberlain, Gad, we're all like, nah. And the call came to you. Could you do the gig? That means, could you learn the music in 3 days, and could you perform it well enough that a casual fan who didn't know it was supposed to be one of those other guys wouldn't think anything was amiss? Well, today, as usual, I will be filling in as your brave proxy, asking the question, could I do the gig? And along the way, we'll be diving into what makes John's music unique and challenging for drummers. Could we do the gig? John Mayer edition. Today on 80/20. Stay tuned. Now, the saving grace is that because this is an SNL show, we do not have to learn an entire set of new music. No, today we're just learning 3 songs. But I want to make this as realistic as possible otherwise. So let's talk about the rules. The first rule is that whatever songs I choose, I need to learn them in no more than 3 practice days. That's to mimic a short notice gig. The second rule is I get a maximum of 3 takes of any of the songs. Those takes can be spread out over 3 days, but I've got a maximum of 3 opportunities to either nail the song or not. Everything else went fine. It's that one f***ing fill. As usual, I'm not gonna lie and say that any of these songs will be completely new to me. If you had ears and lived in the USA during the past 2 decades, you could not prevent John Mayer from seeping into your eardrums. And the way we're gonna simulate a performance on SNL is recording under the gun, which means 3 takes, complete takes, no editing, etc., which will also create more pressure and drama. And if you're wondering what's to stop me from just editing some excerpts and then saying I played the whole thing, well, I'm posting the complete takes on Instagram. Slow Dancing, day 2, take 1. Okay, let's talk about the songs. For the 3 songs in this challenge, I'm going to choose 2 from the John Mayer Trio with Steve Jordan on drums, and 1 from the John Mayer Band with J.J. Johnson. I haven't played or performed or even jammed along with any of these yet. The first is maybe the most iconic Trio song, and has a pretty famous Steve Jordan beat Steve has talked about on other videos. It's Who Did You Think I Was? With this song, you have to bring the energy and the pocket, and if anything's off, people are going to start throwing popcorn and demanding their money back. For the second, we're slowing things way down, and doing a song J.J. Johnson played over brilliantly. It's Slow Dancing in a Burning Room, which is a challenge because of how slow it is, and also because there's no lead hand in the whole first half of the song. For the third, I'm choosing another Trio classic, In Repair, which is like a textbook of all the best Steve Jordan fills in one song. Just like Who Did You Think I Was, if anything is even a whiff off in terms of pocket or energy, people are gonna complain. Next, let's eat this set. You haven't heard of that? I just invented it. It's like, you eat it, only I'm Okay, so I just watched this video about how to light your drum videos, and I haven't implemented anything from it yet, but now I just feel worse about... Anyway. So it's day one of the John Mayer Challenge. We're here to practice probably the Steve Jordan tunes first. If we get time, we'll do slow dancing. The first song I tackled was Who Do You Think I Was? Let's use the actual song and my day one take of it to illustrate what this song involves. The song starts with Mayer's throbbing guitar riff. There's an iconic Steve Jordan fill, then we're in. The drum beat doesn't follow the guitar riff exactly, but rather plays in and around it. Here I am doing my best Steve Joe impression. Two quick verses, then a little guitar solo. But just when it's getting started, there's this. There's a lot that you won't understand. Then there's a little reprise of the chorus, then the outro riff, which ends with this fade. Rabbit hole, you can't play Who Do You Think I Was without praying at the Church of Jordan. So let's unpack this iconic beat. In fact, here's Steve himself to tell you about it.
I wanted to do something different. I wanted, we were gonna be rocking and wanted to have some extra juice. And this thing just came to me. And John was like, whoa. And then he's like, and the whole thing just started happening.
Here I am playing it. And here I am playing it more slowly. And I have to admit, for my first take, I kind of whiffed this. Okay, I like that. That was nice and raw. Haven't even listened to it yet. On to the next. Let's talk about what else I wasn't fully satisfied with in my first take. My fill into the song feels behind. I'll need to make sure it's not a latency issue with my cans, but also just be on top of it so I don't sound behind. Next, I was slow to adopt the groove, and that makes it sound tentative and unsettled. I'll need to make sure to nail it from bar one the next time. I got half a smile and feel shame. There's a sextuplet fill I want to make sure to hit that I totally whiffed on. And finally, though I love my Meinl 16-inch extra dry trash crash combo, they're a little too buttery for this situation. So for recording day, I'm going to opt for my 14-inch hybrid hats, which have the right balance of dryness and wash. I better sleep well because tomorrow's recording day. Hey dudes, so I'm playing around with the lighting setup. Got a panel here. Got a key light there, but long story short, what's is that the practical? That's the practical back there. Long story short, a few of the songs need more work. Yeah. Let's see how I did on this final take. The first challenge was hitting that Steve Joe fill right down the middle. The next is to nail the beat from the word go. Then there's the little break in the guitar solo. And finally, there's the sextuplet fill going into the outro. So what do you think? Could I do the gig? Could you? Leave a comment down below. And if you want to post your own cover of this, just use the hashtag 8020challenge to make sure I'll see it. Somebody stop the presses, because 3 take... The next song was day and night different from Who Do You Think I Was? This is slow dancing in a burning room. The drums come in right away, and the only thing for the right hand to do is hit the tambourine every couple bars.
I was the one you always dreamed of. You were the one I tried to draw.
There's some ride cymbal that comes in with a guitar solo. Then the intensity builds in the Go Cry About It bridge.
Go cry about it, why don't you?
Then the guitar riff from the verse returns, and there's the Don't You Think We Ought to Know By Now bit. More guitar solo as it builds and builds. Then the release. Hey, so now let's talk about what makes this one tricky. It's really slow, so it's tough enough not to rush or drag. But then we can only use the right foot and left hand for the whole first half of the song. The way I got better at tempos like this was years and years of metronome practice, like this. Got it? Okay, let's talk about what I want to change after my first take. Actually, I really liked my first take. The only thing I'd change is get an actual tambourine. And more familiarity with where to go to the ride cymbal with the right hand. Okay, slow dancing reaction. Just listen to my final take. I think it's good. You know what? I don't even want to talk about that. Do you guys want to talk about light? So right now I got the natural light. And then behind me I got the practical. And this is a little too much shadow because I don't have an You're probably wondering about slow dancing though. So I did listen to the last take and it was cool. Let's listen to a little of my second and final take of slow dancing to answer the question, could I do the gig? So let's see if I nailed the verse beat with no right hand except the tambourine and nowhere to hide. Next, let's hear a little of the guitar solo and the transition to the next part. Now, let's just let it play as it moves to the outro. How do you think I did? Could I do the gig? Leave a comment below. Want to participate yourself? Record your own cover of Slow Dancy and post it to Instagram with the hashtag 8020challenge. For the final song, we're doing In Repair, which John recorded with Steve Jordan and Charlie Hunter. Let's go through In Repair and talk about what makes it deceptively difficult. The song starts with this ambient organ effect. Then there's Steve Jordan's fill. And we're in like Flynn. There's a Ringo-style tom fill to get us into the quiet chorus, which isn't really a chorus yet.
I'm steady. I am in repair.
After the second verse, there's a key change, and this fill into the guitar solo. Before things quiet down, and we're back to the last verse. Then the outro with the Allman Brothers style harmonizing guitars. Bam! A-roll. So instead of breaking down the drum beat in Repair, I want to talk about what I need to do better in my final take. First, there's just which cymbal to play. Then, just as I did with Who Do You Think, I want to use the hybrid hats for more wash. Then there's a nice 30-second note fill into the outro I want to make sure to nail. Okay, let's practice a bit and we'll hit the final take tomorrow. Okay, so there were some flubs, but yeah, it felt good to me, so I guess we'll see when we listen. On day 3, I was ready to go, so let's see how this final take went. Now, here's the beat in the first verse. The little Ringo fill into the not quite a chorus. The key change in the guitar solo. The transition into the outro. And here comes that pesky 30-second note fill I want to hit. So that was humbling and also encouraging. Every time I do one of these, I learn a lot about my own playing. And with stuff like In Repair, there's all this room for perfectionism to creep in, and it'll never be perfect. I'm never really ready. Anyway, I feel pretty confident that if I had to do that SNL set, I'd be able to get through the tunes and hopefully not mess anybody up. Now, whether I could do it drunk or high, I'll leave for others to determine. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I always enjoy these. If you've got a constructive comment and you'd like to leave it below, I'd love to hear from you. And remember, if you've got your own cover you want to post, you can do that with the hashtag 8020challenge. And if you like this type of thing and you want to hear every time I post a new video, hopefully I've earned a subscribe. And if I have, I'd love if you'd also hit the bell. Dudes, it's been real. Always enjoy these. See you again real soon in another lesson of the week. Let's listen to a little of my. Let's listen to a little of. Let's listen to a little of my. Let's listen to a little of my second and final take of. What's the song? Let's listen to a little of my second and final take of Slow Dancing to answer the question. Could I do the gig?